What up, what up? I've been playing hard rock and metal guitar for decades, but this classical thing that I'm trying right now is kind of really kicking my butt. Wow.
What the hell is that?
Welcome to the channel. I'm Tommy, and this is Late Start Classical Guitar. I've been playing hard rock and metal guitar for decades, as I said before, but I've recently decided I want to try classical. So this is kind of a journal that's going to document my classical journey and struggle through this learning process. And if you want to join along and learn how to play classical, you can do that too. I'm going to keep track of the hours that I've played. I'm 30 days in now and probably about 35 hours in. So you can kind of gauge your progress with what I'm doing. And I'm going to put resources and exercises and stuff in the description for you so you can follow along. So the first thing I'm having a problem with is my pinky, which you don't use playing classical guitar on your right hand. You use just your index and your thumb and your middle and your ring finger. But this pinky now is trying to do something when I play where it tries to get out of the way, and it pulls itself way up to the point where there's all kinds of tension here, and it just gets really sore. So I've been trying to do some exercises where I kind of relax my pinky and play and try to keep that pinky relaxed. So that's the first thing that's really been kind of rough. The other thing is tone control. With an electric, you have a switch that allows you to switch between pickups. And this gives you the flexibility to change your tone from warm to really edgy based on where you put that switch. On a classical, you have to use your hand and move it up and down the strings from the bridge to the neck to create the different tonal qualities. So that's another thing that you kind of have to be mindful of. Another thing is that being from a hard rock and metal background, I want to play fast. That's just what you want to do. The metal genre is generally a fast genre, and classical, at least learning it, because there are a lot of fast classical pieces, but learning it means I have to slow way down. And that's really tough for me, to slow way down to try and understand what I'm playing. The third thing is that I don't know how to read music. So I'm learning how to read music. And this is, for classical, you kind of really need to know how to do this. I know that there's classical tabs out there, but I'd really rather do this the right way. So I'm learning to read music. And it kind of makes it easier because classical pieces can be long pieces, and it's easier to be able to go bar by bar and look at what you're playing rather than try to memorize the whole piece. That can be very difficult. So learning to read music helps you keep track of where you're at while you're playing. Okay, the last thing, and this is kind of a big thing. Well, it might not be the last thing, but with your right hand, there are certain fingers that have to hit certain strings in a piece. And it's kind of important that you make sure that you are using the right finger for the right note at the right time. And when you're concentrating so hard on getting that right, it really kind of starts hijacking your left hand, and you start making mistakes with your left hand that you wouldn't normally make when you're playing with a pick. Because with a pick, you're just really synchronizing the pick with what your hand is doing for the most part. And with classical, it's, am I on the right string with the right finger? And trying to keep track of that until you get used to it is really hard to do. So I'm just going to kind of really quick go through some of the drills I'm doing. So the first one is just a relaxation exercise to try and keep my pinky from sticking way up like that and starting to get sore just from all the tension. So I just do alternating with my index and middle finger while just trying to keep that finger, that pinky, relaxed. So basically I'm just And then the trick is, if you go lighter, kind of helps it to relax a little bit more until you can play a little harder. And as long as it doesn't pull in all the way up, like that, which it was before. So it's starting to kind of work, which is good. All right, so that's that one. Then the next one is just to kind of create fluidity with all of the fingers that you're using. Pinky is not one of them, like I said before. So with your thumb, index, middle, and ring. So this exercise, you're just alternating between the fingers that you do use. And you're just trying to create an even, fluid sound with no pauses and kind of keep the volume the same on all of the strings. The next one is just an alternating using what we call a rest stroke, which is where you pluck and then have your finger land on the next string. So this is a technique in classical that's used a lot when you want to really make a string sound loud. So this one just alternates between the E, B, and G, alternating with your index middle finger. So. Pretty simple. Next one is one where your thumb is doing a rest stroke, landing on that string, and then you're pulling these off one at a time. So and again, you're just trying to create a consistent distance between the notes. As well as an even sound volume between the strings. And then another one that I use, which is also uses the rest stroke. And this one alternates between the strings, and it's only one note per string. So this just kind of helps your fluidity up and down the strings. So it kind of goes like this. Okay, so those are a few of the exercises that I'm doing. And so I'm also working on a couple of pieces. The one that I demonstrated in my first video, which was Sor Opus 35, number 1, which I played pretty horribly, just a few bars of it. So I'm getting better at it. So a little snippet of that is just this. Okay, so next month I'm going to be working on a waltz by Carulli, as well as trying to finish off the Sor Opus 35, number 1. So I've got that one memorized, and I can play it through very slowly, but I'm going to try to get better at it and then give it another shot. So I'll put some exercises and resources in the description, so you can have something to follow along with, and you can kind of gauge your practice by what I'm doing. Yeah, that'd be great. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.